Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at the GEISSELE Super Duty Rifle. I have had many requests for this. I want to put a call out to Brandon over at the gun room in Shenandoah for finally loaning me one of these so I can bring this to you. This is an extremely high-end rifle. Anytime we hear the word GEISSELE, we associate that with quality, and you are paying for it. You have an MSRP of $2,225 for this sucker. Now, when you look at it, you have the best pretty much of all worlds. It is an extremely heavy rifle. That's probably the only really negative thing about this is this handguard is very heavy compared to the rest of the rifle. So I guess a little bit muzzle heavy. But other than that, you have some of the best components probably in the industry. Now, the color here, they come in many different colors. I prefer black. Brandon, when he got this one, he wanted to get the 40mm green. Now, what 40mm green is, it's the exact same color as the 40mm cartridge cases are for the grenades that are anodized. So that's where 40mm green comes from. So we're going to start taking a look at the lower receiver here. Okay, we have a B5 stock on here with a receiver extension made by GEISSELE as well, which is also the 40mm green. The buffer we have in here is their super buffer, which is a braided buffer spring. This also has an H2 buffer in it. Now this is these are all upgrades that you can get for your own rifle if you so chose. This is certainly a much stronger buffer. A lot of people have often asked me whether I think this is a good idea or not, or whether it's a great upgrade. Quite frankly, this is not a part that's ever really been an issue with the rifle for as far as its spring tension and its longevity. So, I think this is a little overkill. Is it better? Oh, sure, certainly it's an enhancement over the original. Is it necessary? No, but it is certainly a nice enhancement. Now, we start with the Ultra Duty Super Lower Parts Kit. Now, the safety we have on here is what's referred to as the GEISSELE Ambi Super Configuration Safety with GEISSELE Grip. So basically what we have here is a safety. You have the short on the right, you have long on the left, and that can be switched out as well. This is also the GEISSELE Trigger Guard, which is basically an oversized trigger guard. So you can, if you have gloves and whatnot on it. The bolt catch here is what they refer to as their maritime bolt catch. It's much larger on here. You can also see that there's a texture on here, which is sort of a no-slip. You also have that same texture on your magazine release button. Now the trigger on here is what is extremely special. This is what's referred to as the SSAEX. This is a specific trigger that's designed for this firearm. These cannot be bought, but the SSA is probably the standard for as far as quality two-stage triggers for this weapons platform. It has a lighter trigger bow. As you can see, this is a flat bow instead of a moon-shaped. It's what's referred to as nano-coated, and it is two-stage. So basically you have a standard mil-spec type lower receiver with that finish on here. If you notice that the front and rear takedown pin also have that same kind of texture on the end of the pins, like the bolt catch and the magazine release button. So now we're taking a look at the upper receiver, and we'll start off with the fact that we do have this is also the 40mm green. Now the barrel, cold hammer forged barrel, 1 7-inch twist, 6 right. Now it has the GEISSELE gas block on, which is pinned with a spring pin in place. Now, this rifle is designed for duty use, so you do have a drill and a pin against a spring pin rather than a solid pin or a taper pin, but that works just as good. So you have a Surefire closed-time flash hider, not on this one. This one has a specific muzzle brake flash hider that was designed for one of the suppressors that Brandon has, so this is not the original one that comes on it, but you're going to see photos of the Surefire closed-time flash hider. Now, it's nano weapons coated. I referred to a couple times as the nano coating. Well, what is nano weapons coating? It was designed for Picatinny DSL, so it's a durable solid lubricant. It was developed by Ardec, exclusively used on GEISSELE, and it was corrosion and wear resistant. The surface hardening is roughly as hard as a diamond. It has some lubricity to it, and it makes for much easier cleaning. So it's also a rather expensive finish. Now we have another very interesting part that it's something I've been anxious to test, but I've been able to get my hands on one. This is their enhanced bolt carrier. Now, for as far as the bolt carrier is concerned, it is very, it looks like it's mil-spec. The biggest difference is the bolt itself. The bolt is hammer forged rather than cut the same way the standard Carpenter 158 is. Now, by the hammer forging, they're claiming that it has 5 times the life of the standard Carpenter 158 mil-spec bolt. Can I verify that? No. But they're claiming because of the manufacturing process, the way the hammer forging works, that it significantly increases the service life. Now, they're not the first ones to do this. I can remember being at a trade show, I believe it was in Paris, where Schmeiser was there from Germany. Schmeiser was doing this many years ago. So this is relatively new in the U.S., but it has been done before. So again, your bolt is made from a forging. Their bolts, just like any other mil-spec bolt, is magnet particle and proof tested, because these bolts have been provided to SOCOM with the SOCOM rifles. And this does have that nano weapons coating on it as well. Again, I've only had a chance to put a couple hundred rounds through this, so we really can't see what the true benefit to this is. The one thing that did disappoint me about the bolt carrier was they've certainly done something to protect the breaking of the locking lugs and certainly at the cam slot. But what they didn't do is any kind of improvements to the extraction of the cartridge case. They're using the standard extractor, standard ejector. There was no enhancements made to that. And that's generally what you see when it comes to bolt carriers. You'll find a specific aspect where somebody wants to improve. Say they want to improve the bolt extraction. You'll see like the Lewis Machine and Tool, where they did the enhanced extractor, where you have the claw, the lobster tail extractor with the 2 springs. Lewis Machine and Tool has probably been one of the only companies who's basically done it overall. They've improved the carrier and the bolt. Where what we're seeing here basically is a mil-spec bolt with the nano weapons finish and an improved bolt. Now, these have been made available for commercial sales. However, I just haven't been able to get my hands on one to see if this is truly as good as they claim it is. But it's a pretty high claim to claim that it's 5 times stronger. Now, the charging handle here is by GEISSELE as well. This was adopted by GEISSELE. And what we have here is one that's designed specifically for suppression. If we notice on the lip here, you'll see where this covers up one of the locations where gas can leak out of to hit the shooter in the face. So this was definitely an improvement. And you have ambidextrous for both sides, so you can grip them from the side. And you're looking at the bottom, you can see very well machined. This is also a part that you can get for as far as commercial sales to improve your weapon. Not inexpensive by no means, but these have been made for several weapons. You've seen these made for the MPX, the MCX, where they're not regular U.S. mil-spec. You can also find these in 308 as well. Now, looking at the rail on here, this is the SMR Mark 16 with the GEISSELE center tab. SMR stands for Super Modular Rail. It's a 16-inch rail made of 6061 aluminum, and it weighs a hefty 14.2 ounces. And it's got a 1.26 inner diameter with an overall diameter of 1.59 inches. As you can see, we also have QD on the rear sides. Now, what we've placed on here is the Manta rail protectors, which we have a code for is BAR20. Now, again, that was changed from SAS to BAR because of some issues they had with their computer system. You can get 20% off of all of the Manta products. I'm going to reassemble here. Now, the overall fit and finish on this is just gorgeous. This is what you would expect from GEISSELE. And again, with this kind of a price point, you would expect it. So one thing I did add to it was the Vortex 1:6x24 Razor HD. Now, this is a $2,000 scope. Absolutely gorgeous scope, and it complements this rifle very, very well. We also have the Vortex mount and Butler Creek caps on it. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go to range and we're going to see how this shoots. Well, as you see from the shooting, this thing was absolutely gorgeous. If you look at the ejection on it, this thing was perfectly timed. You were getting your cartridge cases around the 4 or 5 o'clock location, so it was properly gassed, and that's one of the benefits of having that mid-length gas system. As you can see from the targets, it shot beautifully, and also from the use of our challenge targets, you can see the steel was ringing just one after the other. Just absolutely gorgeous. So we do have a code for the challenge targets for 10% off of all steel targets, which is SAS. Now, for as far as ammunition was concerned, we used several different kinds of ammunition. Of course, the best ammunition that I used this was the Black Hills Mark 262, 77 grain OTM, but we used some SIG 68, SIG 77. We also had some Black Hills 55 and 62 grain lead-free ammunition, and this rifle took everything. Now, is this rifle for everybody? No. This is with the price point that's on here. This is an expensive rifle. However, if this will fit your wallet, you probably do have one of the finest quality rifles in the industry from a name that's known to do work with our special operations guy with SOCOM. The parts that you see on here, every part that you see on here, you can get as a separate component to add to your rifle to make an enhancement. So we do hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, even better, share. Thank you.